तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जगन्नाथ बालदेवा जय सुभद्रा देवी जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद Today we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela Volume 3 chapters 12 to 16. So I will read from verse 24 all the way to verse 244 all the way to 246, and then 247 we will read together. Aradina Jagannatera Bitara Vijaya Rata Chari Jagannatha Chaleni Nijalaya. Translation. The next day, Lord Jagannath came out from the temple and riding on the car returned to his own abode. Text 245. Purvavat kaile prabhu lana bhakta gana parama anande karena nartana kirtana. As previously, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees chanted and danced with great pleasure. Text 246. Jagannatera puna Pandu Vijaya Haila Eka Guti Patta Dhori Tana Tuti Gela. During the Pandu Vijaya, Lord Jagannath was carried, and while he was being carried, a bunch of silken ropes broke. Text 247. We can try singing this together. Pandu Vijayera Tuli Bhati Utiyaya Jagannatera Bhari Tula Udiya Palaya. Translation. Kindly repeat. When the Jagannath deity is carried at intervals, he is placed on cotton pads. When the ropes broke, the cotton pads also broke due to the weight of Lord Jagannath, and the cotton floated into the air. So, this is a set of verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita for describing the events of Ulta Ratha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Vancha Kalpataro Bhesha Kripa Sindhubi Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Madhya Leela chapter 14, verses 244 onwards is describing. This chapter is called Performance of Vrindavan Pastimes. So a good part of this chapter describes, we are almost towards the end of this chapter, and a good part of this chapter describes what is happening in the Gundicha temple. What are the pastimes Lord Chaitanya carried out in the Gundicha temple. And a very big section of this chapter also describes the conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Swarup Damodar Goswami. And this conversation happens on the day of Hira Panchami. The festivities of Jagannath Ratha Yatra, we know it is like 9-day festival, but it starts way before that. There is Snana Yatra, and before that there is wedding of Jagannath and Lakshmi Devi. So there is like a lot of events that lead to today, and then 3 more days, and then the Lord goes back into temple. So when the Lord goes to Gundicha temple, which is non-different from Vrindavan Dham, Lord Chaitanya, that is called as Gundicha Yatra. We call it as Ratha Yatra popularly, but it's called Gundicha Yatra. And Lord Chaitanya and the devotees are super happy to pull Lord Jagannath's Rath, just in the mood of gopis, how they pulled the rath from Vrindavan all the way, from Kurukshetra all the way to Vrindavan, yeah, reflecting that mood of gopis who were super happy to take Lord Jagannath from Kurukshetra. Krishna had come along with the Balaram and Subhadra Devi on the occasion of solar eclipse, and Kurukshetra is a holy place. So when you have this kind of eclipse and all, you go to visit a holy place, you take bath there and you perform some ritualistic activities to negate the influence of negative influence of Kurukshetra, the eclipse, you know. So Krishna with the Subhadra Devi and Balabhadra were there, and Gundicha Yatra or Rath Yatra is showing the pastime of Krishna coming from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. So of course everyone is super happy, you know. Vrindavan Dham is the sweetest of all places, you know. It is filled with Madhurya Rasa, and Lord Chaitanya is the embodiment of Madhurya Rasa. So there is a great joy in bringing Lord Jagannath to Gundicha temple. Now what is the joy in bringing Jagannath back to sometimes Sri Kshetra or Jagannath Puri temple? Yeah, it's called Sri Mandira. So Gundicha Mandira is in Sundarachala, which is Vrindavan, and Sri Mandira is in Neelachala, and it is sometimes called Dwaraka, sometimes it's Kurukshetra. So what is the fun? You know, why would devotees want to take Jagannath from his sweet pastimes in Vrindavan back to where he is in Aishwarya Bhav, back to where he is king, where the rasa is tainted? Now, more you have respect, lesser you experience the sweetness. You cannot openly experience the sweetness of relationship with Krishna when it becomes tinged with the knowledge that Krishna is God. But we can see here that as previously, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees chanted and danced with great pleasure. So it looks like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was equally feeling pleasure and was equally happy to do Ulta Rath also. In Odisha they call this Bahuda Rath. Bahuda means bringing back. Yeah? Gundicha Rath is when Krishna goes to Vrindavan, and Bahuda Rath is when Krishna comes back to Sri Mandira. They bring him back to his temple in Puri. So what is the fun in letting the Lord go from Vrindavan? So the first, I had this great fortune of reading article by Madhavananda Prabhu. You can find it in ISKCON Desire Tree, and some more additional reading. So 2 points that I got from as reasons why it is still a great and joyous occasion. The first point is the mood itself. Whatever a devotee experiences, the mood itself is very, very exquisite. The Ulta Ratha mood is something that generally devotees don't get to experience. Especially after having Jagannath with us for so many days, he is right there. Today we just got one big jackfruit and we picked up and we just brought. He is so much available. So when we have that availability with Krishna, when he is there and you can have that relationship with Krishna, it's so intense and sweet. But when Krishna is going away, we experience a very intense separation, and the level of ecstasy, and ecstasy is not a word I am using wrongly, even though it is separation, and separation is something that is supposed to cause pain. but because it's Krishna and Krishna is absolute truth, even that separation is so intensely ecstatic. It is so intensely sweet, and sometimes sweeter than when we are with Krishna. So Ulta Ratha is celebrated with great joy because it is an opportunity for devotees to taste the sweetness of separation, which they have not tasted for the period of time when Jagannath was in Sri Vrindavan, when he was in Gundicha. They all have so much access to him. We all cook. Every single thing. Oh, this is ice cream. Okay, let's keep some in home. Let's bring some to Jagannath. Oh, I made this pakoda. Okay, let's give it to. It's so much. Oh, there is a jackfruit. Let's take for Jagannath. Like he's there, and any odd day you want to give something to him, he is there to accept, and you get to see some. The gopis especially, they got to see some kind of very good chastisement of Krishna, something that they were happy to see. What was happening? They were having, Krishna was coming on the Rath, and many of them were super happy to bring Krishna back. It's after a long period of separation, the Milan, it's very, very sweet. So they were very happy, they were shedding tears of joy. But somewhere in some corner, some of them were feeling like, you told you will come, you never came. We had, we met you here. They also had come to Kurukshetra for the same reason. It was eclipse. Eclipse is inauspicious. When something is inauspicious, you go to a holy place to take bath and perform some rituals, and that's why gopis and the Brajavasis were there. So they did not. It was not a planned union. They came for eclipse. Krishna came for eclipse, and they took Krishna, but somewhere in the corner of the heart they had some pain. They wanted to chastise Krishna. How dare you? You never came back. You told us you will come, but you didn't come. We are dragging you back, but that doesn't give you the credit that you came to us. So they were feeling some kind of anger towards Krishna. And on Hera Panchami, we all heard the pastime how the servants of Lakshmi Devi come storming into Gundicha temple. And servants of Lord Jagannath, when they see her and when they see the mood of the servants who are reflecting her mood, they immediately close the door of Gundicha temple. In Gundicha itself, you will see how the servants of Lakshmi literally bring down the servants of Lord Jagannath to their knees, chastising them, punishing them. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually witnessing this pastime of Hera Panchami, and he was covering his face and laughing, because they felt very happy in the mood of gopis. We wanted to actually do this to you. We were super mad. We wanted to thrash you up for not coming back to us. Good, at least Lakshmi Devi, she is able to do it on our behalf. So they were all having a good laugh and giggling. And Jagannath sends back a garland. He says, I am sending you this garland as my acceptance that I am going to come back. You came to take me back to Sri Mandira. I am going to come back. In 2-3 days time, I am coming back. So, but he doesn't, the servants don't allow, they are all so angry. They don't want their Lord to be beaten up, pulped up. So they are like, you got your message, the Lord will come, you all can go. And the servants, reflecting the mood of Lakshmi Devi, on their way back, they will break a bit of that Nandi Ghosh Rath, Lord Jagannath Rath. They'll even thrash the Rath on the way back, so much of anger. So when they are together with Lord Jagannath in Gundicha, there is a lot of opportunity to meet with him, lot of union, lot of sweetness is there. They witness this beautiful pastime of Hera Panchami, where Lord Jagannath is chastised by the servants and Lakshmi herself, so lot of pleasure. And then comes Ulta Ratha day. And on the day of Ulta Ratha, there is this intense feeling of separation. The gopis do participate in Ulta Rath, and the mood is not, let's go to Vrindavan. The mood is, please don't leave us. So there is no more anger towards Krishna. Why did you leave? How is it fair? I wish I could beat you up. This is so unfair. That's gone. Oh, you are here. Anytime I want to see you, I can come with my jackfruit and pakoda. Gone. The only feeling remaining is, when will I ever see you again? So it is not, let's go home, Krishna. It is, please don't leave your home, Krishna. So the mood, the intensity with which they love Krishna becomes multifolded when they feel that separation from Krishna. Oh, I cannot see you anymore. We may feel a glimpse of it. When like somebody is going away, we have some friend or we visit our parents somewhere, and when we are going, you might see our mother or sister or whomever, they may hug you and say, be safe, and some tiny bit of that separation on the material platform we might have experienced. They will cry, we will cry, and the amount of love we feel for our loved ones at that moment, it is way more intense than the amount of love we feel when we were there. We may even be fighting with them. And just like Lord Chaitanya did, close our mouth and giggle over when when they take a fall or get chastised, whatever. So there's a lot of casuality, but when the separation comes, the intensity of love becomes so much more. So that is the first reason why Lord Chaitanya chanted and danced with great pleasure, because it is showing that we can love Krishna much more intensely during Ulta Rath. And the second reason I read in article from Madhavananda Prabhu is Chaitanya Sri Mandira, Puri in Nilachal. It has a very special quality, and that special quality is, Prabhu quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam. The very special quality is, even though it is a temple, even though it represents Dwaraka, Kurukshetra, even though it is an embodiment of Aishwarya Bhava, there is a lot of sweetness in the pastimes of Lord Jagannath. Even though he is a king, he will behave as if he is a cowherd boy. And whenever we hear the pastimes of Lord Jagannath, there is many books which narrate different pastimes of Lord Jagannath. And in all those pastimes, we will hardly hear him as being the king or whatever. He will be running around in the field of jackfruits. He'll be stealing mangoes with his devotees. He will leave the temple and run in the forest, and tell the pujari, I am going to Radha Madhav temple. There is a lot of bhoga there to eat. I would rather be there. So this is a speciality of Sri Kshetra, that the sweetness is not lost. Krishna, even though he comes from Vrindavan, devotees don't feel like, oh no, I'm losing Krishna because he is going away from Vrindavan, he is going back to being king. When he is in Puri, he is not going back to being king, even though he is king, and even though he is sitting on Ratna Simhasana, the asan where he is sitting, Jagannath, Balabhadra and Subhadra, where they are sitting is it is decked with gold and precious stones. It's a crown, it's a throne, and they were crowned. They are kings and princes and all. So, but we don't feel that. That Jagannath maintains that sweetness because he loves his devotees so much. So we don't feel we don't feel that we are going to miss on the sweetness of Krishna because he is going back to Sri Mandira. The sweetness part is still available. So those are two reasons why, I'm sure there are infinite reasons. So those are two reasons I wanted to talk about as to why devotees still celebrate Ulta Ratha, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu still wanted to celebrate Ulta Ratha. We relish the mellow of separation, which is way more intense than the mellow of union, and mellow felt during union, and we don't lose the sweetness. Jagannath continues, so we don't really miss him when we take him back to Sri Mandira. So how does this festival happen? It's a lot of rituals are there. The whole Jagannath from before, not the Ekadashi coming now, but the one before Snanayatra. From that time onwards is a whole story happening. There is wedding of Jagannath with Lakshmi Devi, and then he becomes sick, and Lakshmi Devi takes care of him. Newly wed, so husband becomes sick, you take care, so day night she's serving, and when he becomes better, she is resting because she had taken care of him for so many days, and without telling her, he just goes to be with his girlfriends. That's how it is perceived in Puri. He leaves the queen, the married queen, and goes to see his girlfriends. So the newly wed queen, when she wakes up, when Lakshmi Devi wakes up, because she was tired, Jagannath was sick, she was without sleeping day and night, she was serving him. So she just rested, and within like blink of that time, he's disappeared. So she's pretty mad. So she's waiting 1, 2, 3. So after 5 days, when he's not coming, she's going, and that's when we have she actually talks to Bimala Devi. Says, see, look at what my husband did. Newly married, and he abandoned me, and he went with his girlfriends. And Bimala Devi gives the Moha Churana, something that will that you are supposed to offer to Jagannath, and it will bring back the love. Moha Churana means it will fix his intelligence properly, so that he will come back home. That is the purpose of that. This powder you gave him, so his intelligence will be fixed, and he will know you are supposed to be the one whom he is you are the wife, you are the one whom he is supposed to love, and he'll come back to you. So she takes that Moha Churana and goes, and she becomes super mad because the doors are shut on her face, and she comes back, and she's still waiting, and the Lord doesn't come. Finally, today on the Ulta Ratha day, the Lord comes back to Sri Mandira, and the day before, the Ratha is moved to the southern gate, Dakshina Dwara. They move there and put the Rathas to face towards Puri temple. So, and around midday, Jagannath starts coming out of temple, and they do this dance. When the deities are coming out, they don't just carry them and put, they move like a peacock dance. They call it Bahura Pahandi. It's a beautiful dance-like motion by which the deities ascend the chariot, and here in this particular event where Lord Chaitanya was there, he is observing that when the lordships are coming, they tie him around. That is this is not something we will see anywhere with any deities in the world. There are so many deities who go on Utsava. We have Vijaya deities who go out and give darshan. Not only Jagannath, many deities go out for Vijaya Utsava. But you will never see this kind of happening, because he so much loves his tribal people, and tribal people know to move like that only. Let's tie you up with some ropes and let's just lift you. I'll hold you on this side, he will hold you on that side, and other people will pull you. They tie the rope around him and they pull him with the silk rope, And when they're tired, they'll just say, okay, I will rest, you also rest, and I will put a cushion for you. Let's all sit down for some time, So you can see how sweet it is, and that is how they know to worship. They're sabaras, they're tribal. So the love is very genuine, they see him as their family. You walk with me, and they literally tie silk thread, and it's so sweet, like Ranganath ji goes in Sri Rangam, many Radha Madhava also, they go on Hathi Parikram or Bullock Cart Parikram, nobody is like going to tie them with some silk rope and said, Janani was probably, there's a lot of, even though it's Krishna with gopis, lot of awe and reverence is there, they look almost like Lakshmi Narayan. But Jagannath, even though he is Narayan himself, he comes and plays like he is one of the tribals, He allows devotees to tie him with all these ropes and all body. If you see, all these big, the pandas who are carrying, sweating like anything, and all the sweat is on the body of the Lord, and they have some flower decoration which gives that peacock feather look, and the way they're just, it doesn't look like let's take him, it's like let's play with him, let's not just walk home, let's just jump around and, like a frolic, and, the whole crown is shaking, all the flowers are falling down, and they're all sweating, and the sweat is all over mushing with Jagannath, and not only them, everyone else is also around them. Everybody is trying to grab the Lord, So much of sweetness is there. So the Lord moves in that Pahandi, Bahuda Pahandi dancing steps, and he ascends the chariot. Subhadra Devi comes out first, then Balabhadra, then Jagannath. And when they come, they halt at few places. So the first place they halt at is the Samadhi Mandir of Salabega. And Salabega is a Muslim, born in a Muslim family. Salabega's father, Lal Bega, by force married a Hindu widow called Lalita, and their son was Salabega. And even though she was forcefully converted to Islam, she made sure that her son is brought up as a devotee of Lord Jagannath. So when the father took him for a great war against Afghans, and he was killed there, but Salabega was very severely wounded. He was almost going to die. And the mother, she brought him back, and with the blessings of the devotees of Jagannath, he was healed. So he became a very great devotee, and he has written more than 150 songs glorifying Lord Jagannath. And very often you can Ahe Neela Shaila, very beautiful bhajan, very beautiful song glorifying the various occasions in which Krishna protected his devotees, how he protected Gajendra, how he protected Draupadi, how he protected Prahalad, the song glorifying the protecting potency of the Lord. A very famous song, sung all the time in Jagannath temple. So very, very wonderful devotee. And he had gone to Vrindavan, and he was trying to come back to Rath Yatra, and he fell sick. So he was like, oh, somehow I hope I will not miss the Rath Yatra. And he was praying to Jagannath, oh, I don't want to miss you, Jagannath. I don't want to miss you, Jagannath. And when Jagannath's Rath came, it stopped right there in front of his house. And it did not move at all. The king was employing elephants, and so many strong pandas came, and they were trying to pull the Rath, and it didn't budge at all. And only when Salabega came and offered obeisance and pulled the Rath, only then Jagannath moved. So to honor this devotee, the first stop on Ulta Rath is to stop by Salabega's Samadhi, and symbolically he pulls the Rath. And also on Gundicha Rath, when Krishna is going to Gundicha also, they'll stop there. So Salabhega can pull the Rath. And then the next stop is what they locally call as the Maushi Ma temple. It is the temple of Adarashina Devi. She is a protecting guardian. She and Lord Shiva, they are said to take care of Puri Dham, morning and night duties. And she once drank up half of the ocean water which was flooding Puri and protected the Dham from getting flooded. So such a wonderful devotee, Lord Jagannath. On the way he stops and reciprocates with all his devotees. And it is also said to be the house of Krishna's maternal aunt. When Jagannath and Balaram were cursed by Lakshmi Devi and they had to become beggars. At that time Subhadra Devi was also not begging with them. She was left with this aunt. And so that temple is also the Maushi. Maushi means mother's sister. Yeah, so it is the temple also of that auntie, mother's sister. And when he stops there, that very famous Poda Pitta, it's a delicacy made with rice and urad dal and coconut jaggery and all. It looks like a cake. It looks like idlis but sweet. A very wonderful preparation is offered to him. And then the third stop. This stop is only for Jagannath because he needs some kind of. He is hiding behind the king now. Subhadra and Balabhadra will reach the Simhadwara already. Their carts will go, but Jagannath will stop by the palace of the king, and he needs a special favor from the king. And what is that special favor? The special favor is called Lakshmi Narayana Beda, means a kind of counseling, a kind of reconciliation. We'll tell the king, kindly talk to my queen. My servants even bash the door on her face, so he knows exactly what is waiting for him when he goes home, So he will tell the king, and I mean before the Rath starts, there is also, the king also sweeps the Rathas, like how we do it in the beginning of Rath Yatra. The same ritual also happens there. The king sweeps with the golden broom. And it stops by the king's palace, where only Jagannath stops. The Balabhadra and Subhadra Devi, their Rath is going forward. So they will request, and then the king will go, and the king will talk to Lakshmi Devi. There is the actual ritual, the king will go and he will tell some sweet words about Lord Jagannath, and he'll say, see, your husband has come, please don't be angry, come out, So twice the king will go in some mediation, and the second time she will come. But she will not accept, usually when the king comes back from somewhere, the queen is supposed to come with all this arati plate and putting a tilak and all, But she is mad, so Jagannath had sent her an elephant that she could come on and greet him. She will not accept even, but she will follow. The devotees are requesting, so she will follow the ritual, and she will come out. She will come to see Jagannath, and immediately she will go back. And so all of that happens today, and tomorrow Jagannath will be all painted peacock, golden, Shona Besha, over all golden crown, from head to toe, all, they say each one carries 1,000 kgs of gold ornaments. They have golden hand with chakra, and golden hand for Balaram for plow, and everybody is completely decorated in golden ornaments, just to show to Lakshmi, that she is the goddess of opulence. So what better way to please than showing off all your opulence, So he really shows off on Sayana Ekadashi day, the Sona Besha festival happens. And And then the next day is called Adharapan, where they give a special drink to Jagannath, very exotic drink made with spices and milk and some cottage cheese. So many things are there, and that's the only prasad of Jagannath which is actually thrown from the chariot. They'll offer these big pots and they'll break, and that is an offering given to all the invisible servants who conducted the Rath Yatra, various demigods and servants, and everyone whoever is invisible. Anyone can come to see Lord Jagannath on Rath Yatra time. So even ghosts and all kind of everyone comes to see Jagannath, so that is an offering. Nobody will take that offering, that's only one offering that actually flows down, and nobody it is not honored by visible people. It's honored by people who are not visible, servants and demigods who helped, and all the other, so. And then the last day, Balabhadra and Subhadra and Jagannath, they go inside the Simhadwar, they enter the temple, and then Jagannath gets the same treatment. When they are about to go into the inner sanctum, Subhadra and Balabhadra, they are let inside. But when Jagannath's chariot moves, pam, tit for tat, Lakshmi Devi will shut the door on his face. And then the servants of Lakshmi and servants of Jagannath, they will have some kind of talking. And the servants of Jagannath will apologize. The servants of Lakshmi will express some anger. It's all some songs and slokas that the pujaris from both parties will recite. And then finally, the doors will be open. Lakshmi Devi will allow him to come back home, to teach him a lesson. So she will block him, so the whole festivities happen for so many days. It's not that Rath Yatra happened or Ulta Rath happened. And after that also there is so many very intimate dealings Lord Jagannath has with his devotees, and Ulta Rath particularly is a very, very special and very auspicious day for devotees, because we are not celebrating union with Jagannath, we are celebrating a intense mood of separation. The fire of that separation cleanses one much more than if we were casual. How much attentively, like personally I've seen, somebody is there in home and you're serving them, say, hey, go wash your plate and come, But if you know that they are going to leave, then you are washing the plates, you are preparing the tiffin box, and you are putting, you want to give so much, because you just feel like, oh, they're not going to be there, let me give something more, So the intensity of love and the amount of service, the purity with which we do service becomes so much when if we can meditate on what should be our mood when we are participating in Ulta Rath. I'm feeling separation. Jagannath, I'm coming on your Rath, but I am not saying let's go home. I'm saying please don't leave home. So devotees would cry. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would cry tears of ecstasy. So if we meditate and we participate in that festival, it will be a great purification for our personal spiritual practices. So on that note, we conclude here. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Jagannath Rath Yatra pastimes ki jai, Ulta Rath ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for explaining many details about the Rath Yatra festival. Actually, I never heard such details, and it makes the whole festival more relishable when you get to know all these different leelas, different details. in your narration, you mentioned that there was a moment in which Mahaprabhu was given a powder, and a powder, and his intelligence was fixed. So that powder really exists, and we can take it because we need our intelligence also to be fixed. Or how is that?
Moha Churna. But truthfully, I don't know whether it's a ritual where she brings that Moha Churna. Moha means to feel that attraction, you know, that sometimes they call it Mohana Churna. It is how it is presented is, you are the wife. It is normal for the husband to feel attracted towards the wife, but now he has gone astray. If you give this churna, it will make him become attracted to you again. That means his intelligence is fixed. You know, so that is it is not something that fixes your I think there is like an element of sarcasm there, like, you know, let's fix him up because he went to see the gopis, it's not right, you know. So the element of sarcasm says that his intelligence will be fixed, but the term as such is something, it's a powder that causes attraction towards the right person, you know. Anyway, we all have attraction towards Jagannath, Prabhupada, gopis, Lakshmi, you know, we don't need our intelligence, and Srila Prabhupada, of course. So I don't think you need that powder.
Thank you, Mata.
Thank you for such a lovely class, and I was just curious about how the Rath Yatra was started in Puri. Like, you know, we know like Indradyumna Maharaj had the Jagannath carved, and like at what point they started the festival, and how it connects with Vrindavan, and, well, you know, like Kurukshetra and Gundicha represents Vrindavan, but who came up with this idea to make the festival there?
Actually, I can only tell very small about it. And any devotees who are here, maybe we should first hear from devotees. Anyone who knows some would like to give some input. When did Rath Yatra start first? I only know the symbolism of it. I've never heard, I don't have like some dates or when it started and all. If any devotee, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, you find in the Bhagavatam that there is a solar eclipse, and the Dwarkavasis, they decide to go to Kurukshetra to take bath in the holy rivers there, Brahma Sarovar, and also to give donations to the Brahmins, as the Kshatriya kings used to do in the past. So, when the solar eclipse was happening and Dwarka's kings were there along with Krishna, the Braja Gopis also decided to go with Nanda Baba to Kurukshetra. And there, they wanted to meet Krishna again. They were very shy, they were waiting for their turn to come. Balaram also saw them, their gopis. And there Shrimati Radharani meets Krishna. She says, "You're the same Krishna, I'm the same Radha, but this is not the same Vrindavan. I want you in Vrindavan." So they put him on a chariot and started pulling. And Balaram and Subhadra also went. And in this way, actually it's a long journey, because it's 160 kilometers from north of Delhi is Kurukshetra, and 140 kilometers south from Delhi is Vrindavan. So that's how the pulling started. And because of the intense bhava of the gopis, Krishna took up this kurma roop, like we have kurma Chaitanya, where the limbs shrink. So Krishna's limbs were shrunken and the eyes became very big. So that's the origin in Dwarika of actually the Rath Yatra. And most of our celebrations are reenactions of earlier pastimes from the scriptures like that. So Rath Yatra is like that. Then it started, of course, in Puri it started also. There's some story with Shabaras. Shabras are pig herds, and they were worshipping some kind of a Nila Madhava and things like that. Later it became known as Jagannath. That's the Puri one I'm not so familiar with. There is another story then in the Rajapur, that there is the Jagannath we have here. It seems to be extremely powerful. So the Rath Yatra we're doing here is very special. I remember when I was staying there, Jani Nivas Prabhu once told me that the Puri Pandas came here from Puri to, because this Jagannath in Rajapur is mentioned in their books. This much I know. So I hope maybe that gives a little drop of
1,700 years, but then I read of sort of variations on that when it began, like Rath Yatra began. I don't know, but
what Prabhu said, we also discussed in class about Krishna going from Kurukshetra, so that's the beginning. And before that, when King Indradumna installed Jagannath, they bathed him. Part of installation ceremony is bathing, and all the tribes, everyone came to bathe, and because of that, it went on for like literally from morning to night, and he became sick, and then he wasn't visible for so many days. And because devotees were feeling so much separation, then the Lord, not everyone can go into temple, because he's the king. Not everyone can go to see the king as and when they want, So some of us are not eligible to go to the temple. So, but they all were feeling separation from the Lord. So he comes out to relieve that pain of separation, because not everyone can go in, So that happened. From that time onwards, it repeats, that they do Snan Yatra and the Lord comes out. They do Snan Yatra, Lord comes out. So all those are time. Prabhu's is like 5,000 years ago, and King Indradumna is from like Satya Yuga, so many millennia ago. So and our Jagannath, from whenever he came to us, from Rajapur, so different sets of pastimes are there. Jagannath Swami ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki